If you're like most people in my tribe, I know something about you, and that is that you are afraid to send just one more email.
Welcome to the Affiliate Guy podcast. If you want to grow your income, serve your tribe, and enjoy all the benefits of affiliate marketing and having your own affiliates, you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me today. Now let's get started.
So I'm out on my morning walk right now, and one of the things I do on this walk is actually go through email. This is the time when I almost exclusively respond to email. And what I do personally is I actually have the email app on my iPhone and open it up. And I do one of a couple of things. I either record a video and send it to the person in response. And what that video is just a screencast of their email with me talking. And, it's a 1 or 2 minute email in response to their email. And by the way, you're going to hear some hammering and hopefully some birds, possibly some wind. So I apologize, but this was just, I came across this email and I was like, no, I have got to record this episode right now. And so I might respond via video. I might record a message and send it to my assistant, Kevin, who can then take that and put it into an email response. Usually, it's just me recording these videos. And so this is how I process through email. It's great. I get outside, get some exercise, get some fresh air. And I came across this email today that I want to share with you in a moment, but it really speaks to one of our core messages, which is you're probably not emailing enough. You're probably not mailing your list enough. And the reason is fear. And the reason actually is faulty math. And I'll talk about that in a moment. It's something called critics math. And I hear this from so many people. I can't email 5 times in a day. We tell them that the data tells us that the top partners on the top affiliates on the last day of a promotion, when there's a deadline of any sort, mail 5 times. Like, that's what the top ones do. And that 5 times can literally double or triple your sales versus 2 or 3 times. And compared to 1 time, it's not even a contest. And I tell them, these are people who are successful marketers. They're successful brand builders. You can either make $2,000 or $3,000 on this promotion, or you can make 10 or 15 if you just email 5 times. Oh, but the consequences of that. Well, what are the consequences? And I did that once, and 3 people complained. How many people did you send that email to? 27,000, and 3 people complained. Yeah. And I had 7 unsubscribes. Really? How many unsubscribes do you normally get when you just send out a blog post? About 6. And so I tell them that, but they still can't do it. I share the data, I share the math, and it's all there. It's black and white, right? And you would think that this would just be simple math, like, more emails equals more dollars, so send more emails. But there's a psychological element to it. And so I mentioned this concept of critics math, and critics math is something I heard from John Acuff, and it's probably he got it from somebody else who got it from somebody else. It was probably Abraham Lincoln. When in doubt, just give credit to Honest Abe, right? And it's this critics math is 1,000 compliments plus 1 insult equals 1 insult. Isn't that the way that we operate as human beings? 99 5-star reviews, 1 1-star review. Which one do we remember? We remember the 1-star review. And that's just the way we're wired. And so we send out these promotions, and maybe we try sending 5 emails in a day, and we get a couple of complaints. And I've received those complaints. I had someone that compared me to an Islamic jihadist. That seems extreme. when they signed up for my emails, and I chose to email them a certain number of times. That seems a bit extreme. I had another person who just wrote in all caps, "Please stop emailing me," as though they couldn't somehow locate the unsubscribe link that's quite prominent at the bottom of the emails. And we had another person who used some, we'll just say, colorful language to express her displeasure. Once again, apparently unable to locate the unsubscribe button. And I joke about this, and I've said this before, that one of the issues is that that's a problem with them, not me. And it's a problem with the people who send hate mail. It's a problem with them, not you. I don't know any polite way to say this, but there's something messed up with them. There's an old saying, hurt people hurt people. And to me, it's no different than, folks who leave nasty comments on YouTube videos. Like, there's something wrong with them mentally. And I'm not making jokes about mental health or anything like that. I'm just saying there's something wrong with them. And I remember that. And I just kind of laugh it off, Now, I've talked before about not reading your hate mail, having somebody filter through your email. The reason why I happen to see these, unlike a normal time, is we were in our launch for No Product, No Problem. And so it was all hands on deck. All hands on deck, which meant that I was responding to email between 9 and 11 o'clock at night when there was nobody else on my team that was able to do it. Our Pacific Coast team, that's prime time, family time for them. And when you're in a big launch, your once a year big launch, you do eat into family time. But I didn't want to strip it away completely. And when you're in a big launch, you're working 13-hour days. But I didn't want them working more than that. And so from 9 to 11, most days, I was the one monitoring email. And so I saw some of these messages. And there's this split-second moment before I reminded myself of what I teach you, which is to not let those bother you. And again, that there's something wrong with them, not you. There was just 1 second where I just got really depressed. And so that kind of ate at me for a couple of days. Those seconds added up, and I just, I wondered, maybe are they right? Even though I know that the emails worked. Even though I know from a tactical perspective, if you're worried about unsubscribes, here's a tip. Give them an opportunity to opt out of that campaign. We had a link at the bottom of every email that said, if you don't want to hear any more about No Product, No Problem, click here. That way they don't have to unsubscribe. They just remove themselves from that promotion. And so, I all those tactical things are there. But the spirit of those emails still bothered me. And then today, here we are, our launch ended on Friday. So all the emails we got after Friday haven't been looked at yet. Actually, some of them have. Some of them have been looked at, like if they had payment issues or something like that. But there's one email that I came across, let me pull it up here, that I wanted to share with you because that critics math that I said 1,000 compliments plus 1 insult equals 1 insult. I don't think so. I think that sometimes it's 1,000 insults plus 1 compliment equals 1 compliment. And this email just drives to the spirit of why we send those extra emails. Yes, we know it's because it drives extra sales, whether it's our own product or an affiliate product. And this is not the first one of these emails I've ever received, but I just wanted to read this too. And it was in response to my wife, Tara, who forwarded it to me. Friday afternoon, Tara sent out an email And this guy, Dan, responded to it and said, "Thanks for sending this." We don't get very many of those, do we? Thank you for sending this sales email, so to speak. I appreciate your reaching out. 2 sentences in, 2 phrases of gratitude. Right now, I can't make the time or financial commitment required to take the class that you offer. However, I would like to stay on your mailing list, so I'll know when different classes come up. Then he goes on to say that he's had some financial issues. And, sorry, I'm currently trying to figure out where the wind's blowing from, so I'm not walking directly into it for your sake. But he says that he's had some, some financial issues, but he'll be in a better position later. He says, listen to this, guys. This is so powerful. He says, "Thanks again for staying on top of my initial interest in what you guys do. You've already proved to me that you all understand follow through, and I'm not working with anyone else and don't plan to in the future." That's powerful. He said thank you and appreciated the follow through. So my message to you would be that rarely do we get those emails. There are people out there thinking it. They just didn't write it. There are people out there who buy because of that late night email. There are people out there whose lives will be transformed because you sent them one more email. One more reminder. Put another way, you gave them one more chance. So I would encourage you to try it. To go listen to the series that we did on closing sales earlier this year. Go listen to those episodes. In one of the episodes we talk about that one of the biggest differentiators between successful affiliates who close a lot of sales and those who don't is the number of times that they email on the last day of a promotion. And just when you think that you can't send one more, maybe that's the time to do it. Then go listen to the podcast episode I did recently about the time we sent 10 emails on the last day of a promotion and learn how we did it. But none of the tactics, none of the strategies matter if you're scared to do it. So just remember what Dan told me and know that there are people out there who feel the same way about you. They appreciate the reminder. They want to join, but maybe they can't. Or maybe they've been busy, and that email that you send at midnight, when there's only 3 hours left, midnight Eastern on a midnight Pacific time close, that email you send then is what ends up changing their lives. We've had many students who bought after 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, less than 1 hour left, who went on to make 6 figures within a couple of years and be the next success story. And if it hadn't been for that email that I sent after midnight that they happened to catch, they wouldn't have bought. They wouldn't have joined in their lives. They'd still be stuck in a cube somewhere. So don't be afraid to email more. Tactically give them the option to opt out of that campaign, but don't worry if they unsubscribe, because they were never your ideal customer to begin with. So with that, I'll wrap up, get back to my walk. I just had to share that with you today. So with that, I will see you in the next episode. Take care, keep listening, and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening today. Remember to check out all of our deep dives into affiliate marketing at theaffiliateguy.tv. And if you have a question, you can ask it at asktheaffiliateguy.com. Who knows? Might end up being featured on this podcast.